Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode from the Hermitcraft server, and welcome to 2026, a new year. I am back from my trip up north for the holidays, went up there to visit some family. It's gone about a week and a half, and it is good to be back on the server. Looks like, in my absence, XB left us a Christmas gift. What do we got in here? Moss, rose bushes, honeycomb, berries, some diamonds, and a pretty sweet silk touch pick. Very nice. Thank you, XB. I appreciate that. We'll just hold on to that for now. I have a little bit of catching up to do. I've been, as I said, gone for a week and a half, so I need to kind of reorient myself to what's been going on while I've been away. And I think today we may be working on a little bit of a Redstone-y project. I don't know yet. We'll see. I almost missed this gift. It was hiding in the doorway to my courtyard. This is from Skiz. I gave him a shulker box of pale oak a while back, and he said that once he got his mangrove farm up and running, he would return the favor by giving me a shulker box of mangrove wood. And I am really happy to have that, because mangrove wood, although I don't plan to use a ton of it this season, it is such a pain to farm that I am glad to have a supply of it ready to go.
Sneaking around?
No, I'm just exploring.
Exploring what? Looking for something? There's nothing to hide. There's nothing going on. It's all on the surface. Everything's normal.
I was just flying by, and I was just struck by how normal it was over here. That's really what was going on.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, that's what I'm going for this season. Just normal stuff. Normal. Everything's normal.
Very much so.
Yeah, like my nice. There's rainbows everywhere on my lighthouse.
That's pretty normal.
It's very normal.
Rainbows.
Oh, it's not winter anymore. Wait, let me get rid of this. Well, it's not Christmas. Get rid of that. I can go now. What you like? You like it?
I do. I like what you've done with the place. It's very colorful.
Are you Superman? What's going on here?
I'm a samurai.
Oh, that's begins with S. I mean, I was close.
Because I'm building a big Japanese castle this season.
Oh, did that? I've been there, done that. Just Japanese, done that. Yeah. But no, I'm excited to see it. How are you getting on with the castle? Have you built it yet?
A good chunk of it. I built the main keep building, and I built the courtyard around it.
Heck, okay, calm down. I'm taking it a bit slower this season because I want to. How do you think about that?
I mean, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, good.
We're what, like 2 months in now, roughly?
Are we? Is that really 2 months? Oh my gosh!
I think it's actually been more than that technically. I think this is like month.
Probably has.
We're going into month 3 here.
What month did we start? I can't remember.
It was like early November.
Okay, well there you go then.
Yeah, but I mean, you built a decent amount.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all above ground and stuff. There's definitely nothing below ground but it's a decent amount for what
How
you
would you say that?
That's
a really weird thing to say, Wells.
Well, I mean, I'm looking around. I don't see any ways leading down or anything like that. So I'm just assuming it's all above ground.
Just lots of happy animals and stuff as well. They're all happy.
Yeah, I love the names too. Yeah. Sheer delight
you,
and Samuel Laughter and stuff like that.
Yeah, Samuel Laughter. He just loves laughter. Yep. Don't use his initials. I've got currently 0 farms, but I've been slowly chipping away at this forest. So if you need any oak logs, let me know. I've got blooming loads of them. You did all of this moss without a moss farm? I don't have a moss farm, no. I just got the moss. I didn't have to clear any big spaces, but I just, I dug a big hole in somewhere else and used the moss from that.
I see.
Not that there's holes anywhere here.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you, Joel.
Okay, well, nice to see you, Wells.
All right, my friends. Welcome to my single-player creative testing world for Hermitcraft. We're going to be using a fair amount of moss this season for landscaping and things like that. So I decided I wanted to build a moss farm. And rather than use an existing design, I decided I really wanted to just sort of make my own. Because one of my goals for this season is to get a lot better at redstone. So this is a farm that I designed that is based on an Ilmango design from maybe 3 years ago or so, although it is fairly different in a lot of ways. If we flip this lever right here to turn it on, you will see we create moss and then flush it, and it all goes down into the system and does its thing. And it can be switched back and forth between moss mode. So we'll get all of our moss drops and azalea bushes and moss carpets and all that kind of stuff. Or I can flip this lever, and this will switch it into bone meal mode. So it can work as a bone meal farm as well. And that will also replenish the bone meal in the dispensers that are powering the farm. So that's basically the farm in a nutshell, and it's fairly large, and I promise you it's not as complicated as it actually looks. So let's break this down into much smaller components so you can kind of see how this thing works. So the first part is our stone generation. And this is pretty straightforward. We are creating stone and pushing it into the center where it can then be, where we can then bone meal moss and generate moss within the farm. And the slice, the core of this farm is the stone generator design. And this is it right here. This is completely tileable. And it's a little bit large as far as the footprint goes, but it's not too bad. So the way this works is every time we get a signal, this piston will extend and push the stone out, and then it will read through these observers that this piston has extended and extend a signal over to this sticky piston, which will then reach up and grab the next block. So the sticky piston will only fire if this piston has done its thing. And the reason that we did that is because in some of the earlier versions I was working with, we ran into some problems. This was kind of the initial first concept that I came up with, and the idea was, well, we'll just alternate between the regular piston and the sticky piston, between the push and the pull, and as long as we're always alternating, we should be good, right? So we kind of do one of those, and then this one goes, and then this one goes, and then this one goes again, and so on and so forth. And that's all fine and dandy until you hit the piston push limit. And once you hit the piston push limit, well, then it breaks. Because what ends up happening is this piston can't push anymore. And then the sticky piston pushes up and pushes a stone block into the lava here, which means it no longer generates stone. Obviously, that then breaks the farm, so that's no good. So what I decided to do was come up with this system here, which will essentially make the farm, I don't want to say it's completely unbreakable, but it will essentially insulate you from doing that. Because on an actual moss farm, what will happen as you're going along here, let's turn this back on, moss does not grow evenly. You'll notice that, like, right here, there's no moss that grew. So this slice would break. And that obviously is not good if you want to leave the farm running for a while. So we went with this design instead. It basically protects against that. The sticky piston will only reach up and grab the next block if this piston has fired. And that's the reason for this whole system. And then we have essentially tiled that on all four sides of the moss farm. And it works really well. So we have on this side and on this side, we have these trapdoors. And those will flush, and then here we have the exact same thing. The only difference is instead of a trapdoor that's waterlogged, we have a waterlogged stair, because we don't want water flushing from the sides, just from the just from these two, because we're all trying to flush it towards the central water channel. So that's the whole idea here with the stone generator design. And then we've got essentially two different redstone inputs for this. We have this one, and we have this one. The blue is flushing the system. So when this gets a redstone pulse, it will extend the trapdoors. Those will flush all the items towards the middle. And then this gray line is essentially the pistons. So you can see whenever we press this button, it will push new stone towards the center to get rid of the moss. And then when this gets bone mealed, it will create new stuff that can be flushed. So those are basically the blue and the gray redstone inputs. Okay, so that's the top portion of the farm. But then we need a way to actually bone meal the stone, or the moss, more accurately. So what we have is sort of an underneath system here. This goes underneath the stone. The stone would go at this level right here. And pretty simple. We just have 4 dispensers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These get loaded with bone meal. And whenever they receive a redstone signal, they will pulse and bone meal this, and then these pistons will fire to break anything that grows on top of this block. And because these glass blocks are here, the moss will still grow properly and it will spread up to the stone above. So that's really straightforward. It's just redstone pulse, fire the bone meal the moss, grow moss on these blocks that are up here, like so. Pretty easy. And then this is the part that looks complicated, but it's not as complicated as it looks, I promise. So essentially, this is just water streams. You can see here is our green input that causes our dispensers to trigger and bone meal the moss that would be sitting right here. This is where the moss would go. And these water streams just direct the flow of traffic. So right here on this line, this would be the center of the farm. This is where all the items get flushed to. They then go down this channel right here into this water stream. We've got a lever here that powers these 2 pistons. So when the lever is off, this piston is extended. When the lever is on, this piston is extended. And we do that to direct the flow of this water stream. So when the lever is on, the water stream flows to the left, which then directs all the stuff over here to these composters to be turned into bone meal. And when the lever is off, it directs the water stream to the right so that they can go straight into the storage system. So if I want moss, I have the water going this way. If I want bone meal, I have the water going this way. And then this magenta redstone line is for when the system is in bone meal mode. It comes over here and it powers these sticky pistons, which words. English is hard, guys. It's very difficult. It pushes these observers to trigger an observer clock. And what that does is if you follow this whole water stream, it all goes into these hoppers, goes into the composters, gets spit out here. This is a dropper, an automatic dropper right here. So any items that go in will get automatically dispensed. They then, the bone meal then goes over here, up this water stream, pops out here, and then it does a little loop. So it has a chance to go into each of these hoppers, and these hoppers will replenish the bone meal that ultimately bone meals the moss. So what we're doing is once we direct it here, once we get our bone meal, it goes up, it tries first to replenish the dispensers that are growing the moss for the farm, and then anything that doesn't end up in these dispensers will fall back down, work its way over here, and go into our bone meal storage. And then these, this observer clock I was talking about is just to basically get the bone meal from this hopper up into this dispenser. It's a very small little item elevator. Nothing too crazy at all, but it works. And then, of course, down here, this redstone is just an item filter so that we don't have to sort the chests ourselves, so that all of our moss goes here and all of our carpets go over here and so on and so forth. It is a double speed item filter, so we have hoppers here and here. You can see these kind of flow, and that way it can pick up twice as many, or it can deposit the items twice as fast, I guess is the easiest way to explain it. So yeah, that's essentially the moss farm. Again, looks really complicated, but it's not too crazy. Also, let's talk a little bit about the clock that powers all of this. It's, again, more complicated than it looks more complicated than it actually is. So right here, we have an etho hopper clock. I'm sure most of you are probably familiar with this. If you're not, really simple. There's a number of items in this hopper. When those items flow into this one, this block will move, they will start flowing back, and it will basically just alternate back and forth, like this. So it's a way to get a redstone signal sent out on a clock, and in this case we have it set to 5 items. Then we've got this thing over here, and we'll break it down even further so you can see it from here. This is an item counter. I can't remember where I saw this. I think maybe I found it on Reddit. I wish I could credit whoever came up with it, though, because it's absolutely brilliant. This is really straightforward as well. You have in here a dropper with non-stackable items. You can put up to 5 in here. And what'll happen is whenever it gets a signal, it will push one of those items into this hopper. And then when all of the items in the dropper have been pushed into the hopper, it will pulse once and then reset. So so the way this works in conjunction with the etho hopper clock is if we take a signal off of a redstone torch right here, which will be a pulse, basically we'll get since I have 3 items in the system, every 3 times that the hopper clock cycles, we'll get a pulse on this line that goes to the flushing system and this line that goes to the bone meal system. So if we go back to the full, complete farm design, every time the hopper clock cycles, it will do the thing with the pistons. It will try to push stone blocks towards the center, and then every 3 times, it will try to bone meal the moss and flush the system. So let's turn this on. There we go. And then here it should flush. And bone meal again. And then it just repeats. So every cycle, piston movement. Every 3rd cycle, flush the system and bone meal a second time. You could set this to 2, and you would probably get a little bit more bone meal drops or moss drops and stuff like that. But it will end up being less bone meal efficient. So I decided to stick it on 3, but you could probably play around with that a little bit if you wanted to. Also, I should mention latent lag on a server is a thing. So there are 5 items in this etho hopper clock. If the farm is breaking, if you're getting cobblestone in here, then change it to 6 items or 7 items. Basically, increase the number of items in the hopper clock if you're ending up with cobblestone in here, and that should fix it. 5 is the number that I think works best. I think I tried it with 4, and it ended up breaking. Let's just double check, but I'm pretty sure that it couldn't quite handle 4 items. That was a little too fast. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it can handle 4. Either way, on a server... Oh, there we go. Yep, see cobblestone. And now that'll break the farm. So, yeah, you want at least 5 items in the hopper with this design. And if you're building this on a server and you're getting a little bit of lag, then you want to instead boost up that number of items to 5 or more, or 6, I guess, or more if needed. So yeah, that's basically how it works. Now I just need to build it on the Hermitcraft server. Well, a few hours later, and the moss farm is all built and working great. Currently have it in bone meal mode, and it has been running for a while at this point because I needed to run it quite a few times in order to build up the necessary items to fill up the item filters, because the way that these item filters work is they require a full... They need this hopper down here to be full, and then this one to have 41 as well. So in order to get 5 stacks of flowering azalea trees, or these flowering azalea bushes, saplings, whatever you'd want to call them, for example, I needed to let the farm run for quite a while. But it works for moss and pale oak. The only thing you have to do in order to run this for pale oak is just swap out the moss blocks. And you do have to do it manually. I don't have like an automatic switch you can press or something like that, but pretty easy to do. You just break these moss blocks here and replace them with pale oak instead. And then same thing on the other side right here. And yeah, it's working great. A couple of things I want to make a note of. When I showed this off in the creative world to you guys, you may have noticed some of the textures for the redstone components were a little different than normal. That is part of a Vanilla Tweaks redstone pack. It's just a resource pack to make it a little easier to see like which pistons are sticky pistons and stuff like that. But that I only use that for the most part when I'm actually like designing redstone stuff and turn it off otherwise. And then the other thing is, it has come to my attention that there are some moss wars apparently going on the server. And I just built a giant moss farm. I'm not getting involved in the moss wars. I have no interest in doing that. I just wanted a moss farm for myself because frankly, it sounded fun. I've never built something like this before. I've never built a moss farm before at all, much less designed one essentially from scratch. So yeah, that's the thing that's going on. I'm pretty happy with it. It turned out really well, and now we should have more moss than we ever know what to do with. How you doing? Happy New Year.
I'm doing good. Happy New Year to you too.
This place is coming along.
What's up? Oh. Thank you.
I think the last time I was over here, you basically just had the, like this little bit down here. You didn't even have, like, all the landscaping and stuff done.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, I'm in that weird area where I'm, like, kind of away from everybody. So, like, unless people are coming out this way, they kind of don't go past. So I don't suppose, people update themselves on what it looks like.
Yeah, it's looking great, though. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yours is looking very tall over there.
Why, thank you.
I mean, I can't see it from over here, sadly.
Yeah, it is indeed very tall.
Mm-hmm. Is it getting taller, or are you staying there?
I think I think that's probably going to be the tallest point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I'm planning to do like a whole town like around the castle. So there might be like a pagoda temple type thing that ends up being taller than that, but
very nice, very nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I feel like once you get that all in, like the atmosphere is really gonna change in the whole place, you know?
Yeah, I think it'll look really good once it's all. I've got a whole season to work on that though. Like, you know, it's
that's what I mean. We'll spread out, you know, throughout the.
Exactly. I say it on stream all the time, you know, that's a tomorrow Wells problem, not a today Wells problem.
Right. Yeah, that island that we're looking at right now, that is a future false problem.
Oh, you're gonna. So how far are you gonna go?
I mean, I've got that, like, well, I say island. It's technically connected to Pearl right now, but, you know, there might be a river going in there. To separate them where it kind of, like, goes inwards there.
Okay. Are you bringing back the false river creation service?
I mean, I might have to.
Might have to.
Why, are you looking for some rivers?
Not at the moment. Maybe in the future.
Sorry,
Maybe in the future.
It sounded like you were, and I was like, huh?
I mean, it's good to have the option, you know?
Yeah, no, true. There's actually plenty of rivers this season, so we're doing pretty good.
That's true.
And I'm going that direction too.
Okay. So you're gonna have a pretty
north and south.
What is the theme exactly? Is it just like kind of ancient ruins, or?
It's just kind of fantasy right now.
Just sort of fantasy.
Fully on the lore, but yeah.
Cool.
Look at you prepared with your bed and everything.
I know. I try. The night is dark and full of terrors. False.
Yeah. Did you check out the building at the back? I kind of wanted some opinions on it.
No, I have not.
You've got wings. Should we have a little fly?
Yeah, of course.
Up there.
Lead the way.
Land somewhere. I'm not sure where best is to land.
Oh, you've been doing all sorts of stuff over here.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure if you'd seen, like, the newest part is, like, the tree and then this building, so.
No, as I said, I haven't seen this since probably, like, I don't know, maybe, like, early December, I think was the last time I was over here. It's been a while.
I mean, December's a month of, like, grind and just get on with your own stuff, I think, so.
Yeah,
that's
well,
totally fair.
Plus I went up north for the holidays to visit family. So I was in, like, frantic backlogging mode, you know, trying to, like...
True. Yeah.
Trying to get stuff.
I mean, I was in the same boat as well, so, you know.
Oh, yeah? Did you do anything fun for the holidays?
No, I mean, I didn't do any traveling or anything, but I did try and, like, get, you know, an extra video out that was this building.
Gotcha. So. Yeah, I like it. Oh, I really like the water feature.
Oh, the waterfall over the other side?
Yeah, the waterfall, aqueduct, whatever you would call it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to come up with some more ideas with that because it shouldn't really end there. But, you know, it just made sense to have a waterfall temporarily.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see... I'm assuming that this, like, roadway kind of on the side of the waterfall, like down here, I'm assuming this is going to keep going at least some ways. Yeah, I actually haven't got too much of a plan for either the aqueduct or this, so... Making it up as you go? Okay. It'll go somewhere, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't even necessarily have to go super far. You could just put some other structure kind of over there a little bit, and then maybe... I don't know, maybe like a pond or a lake or I wonder if you could do... I don't know how, like, when you're thinking fantasy, how... What time period are we talking? Like that is a great question. Like water wheels and stuff? I have no idea. I mean, it can be a bit of anything because weirdly I'm doing fantasy when I'm not particularly clued up on fantasy like themed shows and things and movies. So I'm very open to whatever really right now. Because it could be kind of cool if this waterfall like led down onto like a wooden water wheel of some sort that was for some sort of semi-industrial building, you know, like a wood cutter, like a log. Yeah. You know. See, I like that idea, but seeing as though it's a travel-based aqueduct, like you can get in a boat. Technically, I guess it's wide enough and everything. I see. It might be a bit weird if it goes to that, but I like that idea. I think that should definitely go somewhere. If I decide to go water wheel kind of era of fantasy, I guess. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's coming together super well.
Thank you, thank you.
But guys, that is all that I have time for today. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.